Hey guys, going live here again. Donald Trump is using Nazi propaganda in his speeches. He had one in New Hampshire that I'm going to tell you about. I'm going to explain why it's Nazi propaganda. I'm going to explain why it's mental, and I'm going to explain why he's doing it and why it's working. So all that's coming up, and obviously we'll have more on it on the live show. We always have the live show at 6 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Make sure you're checking that out. We'll have the video from it, including another amazing part of that speech. So Monday, 6 o'clock, as we do every weekday. And by the way, you guys, the industry's going through super tough times. Everyone who joins makes a giant difference. I'll try to shout out people here who join while we're live. So you could hit the join button below on YouTube, of course, tyt.com/join. Thank you to all the members who pointed out that my mic wasn't working on the last one. That's why I'm doing it on my phone this time. All right, let's get to it. So this is what he said in the New Hampshire speech. He said they're about immigrants. They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done. They poisoned mental institutions and prisons all over the world, not just in South America, not just the 3 or 4 countries that we think about, but all over the world. It makes it seem like he's saying that they poison the blood of the mental institutions and the prisons, but that's not what he means. He means that these countries are in cahoots to take prisoners and people in mental asylums and bring them here to poison the blood of our nation. Cuckoo, cuckoo. I'll explain why it's cuckoo in a second, even though it's super obvious. And he said they're coming into our country from Africa, from Asia, all over the world. They're pouring into our country. Nobody's even looking at them. So I don't know how he knows since no one's looking at them. But they just come in. The crime is going to be tremendous. Terrorism is going to be, and he trails off. And we build a tremendous piece of the wall, and then we're going to build more. So number one, he barely built any wall. Instead, he did a giant tax cut for corporations and the really wealthy. And this time around, he's also proposing to do a giant tax cut for corporations. So he's one of the reasons that he does this insane propaganda about immigrants is because he wants to distract you from what he's actually doing. And what he's actually doing is giant tax cut for corporations. He proposed one. It used to be 35%. He brought it down to 21%. And he says if he gets elected again, he's going to bring it down to 15%. He's basically saying higher taxes for you, lower taxes for all my corporate friends, for all my billionaire friends. But don't look at that. In his words, nobody's even looking at them, right? And mission accomplished on that one. That's true. Nobody's looking at his giant tax cuts for the rich. Instead, we're all talking about the insane stuff that he's saying about immigrants. So if you don't know, you're a dentist, you're an accountant, you don't know this, no problem, I get it. But if you're in politics, everybody knows that the only 2 people who have ever said poisoning the blood of our country are Adolf Hitler and Donald Trump. Nobody says that by accident. It's not a common term. Like sometimes people say about donors, oh, they're puppeteers, and there's some anti-Semitic tropes that go back in the old days about puppeteers. But a lot of people don't know that, and a lot of people will say, oh, well, the lobbyists and the donors are manipulating people. So that's potentially an honest mistake, and people can say things like that. But poisoning the blood of our nation with immigrants, there's no second interpretation to that. No one else has ever used that. Just Hitler and Trump. And look at these insane conspiracy theories. Like countries in Asia and Africa, like Thailand and Kenya, go and how do they do it? They find people in their mental institutions and their prisons, and they say, okay, we got a great idea. We're going to fly them to Mexico. But remember, the ones from the mental asylums, they don't know which way they're going, north, south, east, west. So then we're going to presumably walk them to the border and then go this way, go this way. We're trying to poison the blood of Americans. So come on, guys. Who could possibly believe that? That's so insane. You'd have to escape from one of those mental asylums to believe that. But unfortunately, part of the reason that he does it is because it works. So in that same rally, they chanted, "We love you. We love you." So there was this theory among the mainstream because they love Republicans. They love corporate Republicans, right? And they love the BS bipartisanship from the Uniparty. And so, and that includes Joe Biden and Barack Obama, who both said, oh, the fever's going to break for the Republicans. And they're going to come back to doing bipartisan deals with us, okay? No, the fever never broke. The Republicans never wanted any of the things that the pundits on TV said. They didn't love free trade. It turns out when Donald Trump said, "I hate free trade," they were like, "Yeah, we hate free trade too." So what do they like? Well, Trump uses lunatic Nazi phrasing and they chant, "We love you." So look, I know not everybody in that crowd knows that it's Nazi propaganda, and I know, and I'm more fair to Trump supporters than a lot of people in media because I acknowledge that one of the things that they love is that he's anti-establishment, and I get it, and I appreciate that. And he's basically doing a big middle finger to the establishment. If he had done that and then tried to help the average American, great. But instead, he does that and he uses it all for his own purposes, tax cuts for himself and his corporate buddies. But meanwhile, he's stoking the right wing who are worried that immigrants are changing things. And conservatives don't want change. They don't like change. So when he says, "Oh my God, they're poisoning us," a lot of right wingers go, "Yeah, that's right. Oh, things have changed so much. I liked America the way it was. I don't want America like this. I don't want it with Africans and Asians and Latinos." Why is he randomly mentioning Africa and Asia when there are almost no undocumented immigrants coming in from the Mexican border from Africa and Asia? The reason he's saying it is because he's saying none of these folks are white. You know, the Latinos, the Asians, the Africans, they have this conspiracy to poison our blood and they're sending in prisoners. No government is sending in people. People come to this country. You want to know why? The overwhelming reason why immigrants come to this country is because they're desperate. They're uprooting their homes, their families, and going on an incredibly dangerous journey, which might not even be successful. Why? Because they're worried to death for the safety of their families, or because they're economically desperate and destitute, and they're trying to find a better life for themselves here. They're coming for the American dream because they believe in us and they have hope in America. They're not coming here to poison us. That's lunatic conspiracy theories. You could still be mad at undocumented immigrants and you could still say undocumented immigration is bad, but to say that that they're doing it on purpose, not because they want something better for their family, but because they're trying to poison us, is both crazy and really hateful. So the fact that Republicans see that kind of stuff and do not turn from Trump, it is really damning for the Republican Party and for this country. He's got a 50-point lead in the primaries, and he's winning in the general election. So these are dark, dark times. Like, we got to fight back and we got to win, and we can't get despondent. But to see an American politician who's currently leading the presidential race, period, among all candidates, and actually, to be honest, a little bit comfortably, for that guy to be using brazen, over-the-top Nazi language, and for the Republican Party to not mind, that is devastating. And that's the reality. All right, we'll have a lot more for you guys on the live show, 6 to 8 p.m. every day, Monday through Friday. And right now is when we need subscribers the most. So if you love what we're doing, giving you honest news coverage and a little bit of hope in the future, join by hitting the join button below or at tyt.com/join. All right, love you guys. See you on Monday.